Discover solutions to issues that affect your family and professional life with practical information to help you get past life's adversities. Take a proactive approach to power up your life with Rosalie's expert resources.
Spring is sprung, and it's time to clean up your home inside and out. Do you dream of giving your home some curb appeal, but have no time to trim those out-of-control bushes or repave those cracked walkways? Well, sit back for some tips on how to transform your yard on a budget from Desperate Landscapes licensed contractor Jason Cameron, who's here with a wheelbarrow full of creative solutions to tackle your landscape problems. Most of us want our homes to look the best, but landscaping can be really expensive.
It can be, but it can also be inexpensive depending on how much work you're willing to do.
So how do we create a plan and a budget and stick to it?
Well, that's important. I mean, I've transformed hundreds of landscapes across this country, and I would not be able to do what I do without a plan. So to keep it simple, I suggest to people that they look at their landscape, they get rid of everything, clear it out, because there's a lot of clutter. Sometimes it's hard for you to imagine what you can do with it. So absolutely clear it out, get rid of it. Then look at things around your neighborhood that you like, some things about different landscapes that you like, take pictures of those, and then draw it out on paper. It's simple lines on a piece of paper, your front of your house, your landscape, the hardscapes. You don't have to be an artist. And then start plotting on that paper how you want things to look. That's really important that you come up with a plan. Now, to save money, what you want to do is use a lot of annuals and perennials, things that plants that don't cost a lot of money, but which give you a big impact and a lot of color. And also check your local recycling centers, because sometimes you can get almost brand new doors, entry doors, landscaping material. So that's another great way to save money.
What tips can you offer us to transform our curb appeal and landscape?
It's amazing what a fresh coat of paint can do to a house and your landscape appeal. Recently we did an episode or a house that the neighbors complained about, that it was a mustard yellow, and I know we've all seen these houses that the color is terrible. So invite your friends and family over and get a fresh coat of paint in there. It's going to go a long way. Number two would be new turf. I get a lot of complaints across the country about people trying to maintain their grass and their turf. I know in Florida you might have this issue because you have sandy conditions. It might be time to throw in the towel if you've tried for years and it doesn't work, and just get new turf. I would say number three is a big entry. A lot of times you see houses with really tiny walkways, which is really annoying, and they're kind of a trip hazard. So what I recommend to people is really expand that walkway, make it more inviting. So maybe go from a 2-foot to a 4-foot walkway so you can get two people to walk down at the same time. Create color with a lot of annuals and perennials, because that's going to give you a lot of impact in a short period of time. And I think the number one tip would be to add a tree. Make sure you have enough money in your budget for a mature tree, and that can give you a huge impact, but it can also help save on utility bills in the summer and the winter because it shields your house.
What tips do you have for planting?
What you got to remember is you don't want to plant it as to the size it is now. You want to plant it in a position where it's the size it's going to get. So because what you have to remember is the root ball will be as large, if not larger, than the canopy, and you don't want that to do any damage to your foundation or to your sidewalk. So be very careful in where you plant the tree. You should go into that with a little bit more knowledge, understand your soil conditions, go to your local nursery, talk to them about the right plants to choose for your location. That can go a long way to save time and money.
According to research posted by the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences, over 14% of U.S. residents relocate on an annual basis. And the average cost to prepare a home for sale is approximately $2,000. With this sluggish economy, foreclosures and short sales, foreclosure auctions are a good place to find properties at discounted prices. But Florida homeowners who own their home and have a housing fund to update their home may wonder, where do we start? Joining us this morning is Stephen St. Ange, designer dad, husband, father of two, and homeowner who understands how homeowner responsibilities are ever growing through their weekly to-do list.
Well, it's funny because I've been, hearing from readers with Family Circle magazine that have been saying, what do we do? In this economy, we need to be creative with the environments we're in now. So you always hear like, oh, someday I'd love to have that house, or that's my dream. But take a room in your house and make it more like you want it to be. And the starting point for me is the kitchen. It's the heart of the home. It's the house, center of action with kids and family running around. But the idea of doing key choices that you can change out to make that space better. To me, the starting point is appliances, because we need to save money, so we need to have things that are eco-friendly but also going to save money on our bills. But also we want something that looks good. We want something that's really going to play into the environment so that you can play off the appliances and add accessories that are going to bring that to life in the kitchen space to give you an instant makeover. If you don't do a major makeover, I say, change out the appliances, change out the lighting, because we see, like on television, for example, these beautiful homes that are seen on these TV shows. If they're not lit, they don't come to life in the best possible way. It's the same thing with your home environment. If you don't have pendant lights over your island or under cabinet lights like we're seeing in this kitchen behind me, it's a way to inspire the accessories in the kitchen. So whether it be white lacquer accessories in the kitchen bar stools, or the table in the kitchen, or the frame and the artwork that are in the space, or the lighting, using that as a catalyst to inspire the design. But then from there, to me, the big thing is a place for everything. So in a kitchen space, countertops are always cluttered. So interjecting new things onto the countertop and taking stuff away to really clean up surfaces goes a long way. Because as a dad, I know that at the end of the day, going through the kitchen and putting everything back where it needs to go takes some time.
How can homeowners mix style and convenience?
Well, I think you have to create zones. I mean, that's one of the big things, is obviously create areas that you're drawn to. Well, obviously it's the family room, a living room, a dining room, whatever it's going to be. But I tell you, I've gotten a lot of letters recently from homeowners that are saying the laundry room is the center of their home. They're making their laundry rooms full of color, full of style, and so it's a zone that they're drawn to, that they actually like being in that space. And I think at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, is that we want to come through the door at the end of the day. Here's another example. Gladiator. I love their products. Storage, all about a place for everything. This is the new storage bench. Nothing worse than coming home and having to deal with reorganizing and decluttering your house. If there's a place for everything, not only as mom and dad in the house, but your kids will feel more inspired to put everything back where it needs to go. So at the end of the day, you come into your space and you say, I like coming home, I like being in this space. It may not be your dream home, but it's going to be more like what you imagine yourself living in. And at the end of the day, good home design does change your life. It truly does.
Taking time to improve our home environment is healthy for our entire family. Spring is all about renewal and change. And here with some Spring Has Sprung tips is Pier 1 decor expert Aimee with ideas that'll turn your home into spring fab. What are some inexpensive ways to freshen up a room?
We're seeing a lot of bringing the outdoors in, and that's with bird motifs, butterflies, beautiful florals, and great colors. If you want to spruce things up, an easy tip would be pillows. That's a great way to really bring in a whole new look. Here's some beaded pillows, a beaded pillow and a floral pillow.
So how about adding some color to change the feel of a room?
I have, these great outdoor lanterns, a wicker chair, beautiful greens and blues that you're seeing here.
So how do we accentuate a mood change in a room?
As far as fragrance, you can look at our signature collection, and I have it mixed with a citrus cilantro, which is great for spring. And it doesn't stop there. You can mix reed diffusers, candles, potpourri, and really enjoy the process of mixing and combining fragrances.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. we can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Oh, sweetheart. Can I give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Spring is a great time to enjoy the natural beauty of Florida and make it fun on a budget that's eco-friendly. Gas prices in Florida are over $4 per gallon. We need to reduce how much we spend on gas by simply adopting better driving habits. As families begin planning their summer vacation, they can learn some money-saving tips months before you get on the road. Joining us this morning to discuss how green driving habits save fuel and some eco-friendly saving tips is eBay's green driving expert, Bradley Burman, co-creator of Green Driving Center. How can the Green Driving Center help every one of our viewers this morning?
You mentioned the cost at the pumps is continuing to rise. We're now practically used to the fact that gas costs more than $4 a gallon. How many times are we going to get stung at the pumps before we decide to do something?
Give us some practical fuel energy consumption tips that are very effective.
Jumping in the car at the drop of a hat. If you need something, combine your trips. Another thing you can do is just be very aware of how you're using the accelerator. Instead of, you see this every day, people race up to stoplights, right? Instead, try to coast as much as possible. Don't throw too many things in the back seat and carry extra weight. You can explore carpooling.
Do hybrids really save money, and are they as convenient as traditional automobiles?
I've been driving a hybrid for 10 years, and they operate just like any other car, right? There's no separate fueling, infrastructure. With today's conventional hybrids, you don't need to plug them in, although plug-in hybrids and electric cars are coming out there. So they're a pleasure to drive. There are more than 30 models out there. It's a commonplace, mainstream choice for consumers that can double your fuel economy if you choose the right hybrid.
If you can't afford a new car, how about buying new tires? Do tires impact our usage of fuel?
Well, I mean, that's literally where the rubber hits the road, right? So that's an immediate step you can take to improve your fuel efficiency by 10%. It doesn't mean that you have to race out tomorrow and put more fuel efficient tires on, but tires wear out, and when you need a new set, that's one important consideration, is how much rolling resistance there is, and that can be an immediate way to, again, save 5 to 10% on fuel efficiency. These things are cumulative. This is a kind of a lifestyle a decision. Every little step that you take, every decision that you make can lead to greater fuel efficiency and saving money at the pumps.
How about adding fuel additives in your tank to stretch your gas mileage?
I have not discovered any fuel additive that really does that. I mean, the absolute #1 choice is the choice of vehicle, right? And how that vehicle is fueled, whether it's using diesel or partly electricity or compressed natural gas. But additives, it's often portrayed as being some kind of miracle, some kind of miracle fluid that's really going to transform your fuel efficiency, and if it's too good to be true, it usually is.
I read recently that the U.S. Department of Energy estimates drivers traveling over 60 miles per hour lose 7 to 23% of fuel economy.
That's right. If you can, when you're out on the highway, instead of going 80, 85, which is beyond the speed limit in most places anyhow, if you can ease down a little bit and reduce your speed by 10 miles per hour, you can really save a lot of fuel. And it's interesting that you mentioned the Department of Energy, because eBay, in the creation of this new green driving center, partnered with DOE to find out what the real facts are. I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions, there are a lot of myths out there, so what eBay did with the creation of the Green Driving Center is partner with folks like the DOE to get accurate, compelling information that makes it accessible and easy to make these changes and save money on fuel.
Each year, Earth Day provides timely reminders of the need to protect our environment and to preserve our natural resources. Joining us today is Annabelle Gurwitch, actress, author, activist, and host of WastedOnPlanetGreen.com. Is there a connection between global warming and high gas prices?
Well, the two are totally connected, and a lot of Americans have switched to hybrids because, when you have a hybrid, you have lower carbon emissions and you're saving money on gas. But if you're like me, you can't afford to make the total switch. I've got one hybrid. My husband drives, a regular gas car. But what you want to do your part to save money and carbon emissions is make your car work as efficiently as possible. So about 5% greater efficiency, that's going to double or triple the time between changing your oil, which is going to do two things for you. It's going to make you spend less money on gas, and it's going to lower your carbon emissions. So it's really a win-win for the planet and for your wallet. And making that connection, Rosalie, is what I think is really important about Earth Day, because look, everyone's thinking about the economy. Sometimes thinking about the planet gets lost in that, but the two things are really connected. And to me, that's the most important message that I have. Save money, save the planet.
Where can we go to get more tips on saving energy and the environment?
tvtips.com, money-saving tips and environmental-friendly tips too.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
Of course it's not happening. Armored car. Listen, having money isn't about luck. Make your own coffee, save $1,000 a year. Feed me. Feed the pig.
Now, come on. Come on. All right. I know. 2 seconds. Hang on. Just stand still. Stand still, though. 1 second. I know. Just hang on. Okay, go, go, go.
Boys, hang on, boys! You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Oh, that's low, that's low. That's low and below.
Look, he's blushing.
Seriously?
You've been there for us. Let us be there for you. The hurricanes have affected everyone. If you are a rescue worker who needs someone to talk to, trained and caring help is waiting. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is take care of yourself.
The causes are, pretty interesting. It turns out that healthcare reform could really begin right at home in our medicine cabinets.
A new drug trend report shows 90% of patients surveyed agreed taking their medications as prescribed was important, but as few as 1/2 of them actually are doing it, despite risking serious complications like blindness, kidney failure, heart attack, even strokes. So why are so many of us still not following the doctor's orders? Here with more on this report findings and the stupefying unnecessary cost of money and suffering associated with this is Chief Scientist for Express Scripts, Dr. Bob Nease. So doctor, tell us what this report revealed and why so many of us are not following the doctor's advice, even when it's crucial to their health.
Yeah, it really is crucial to our health. Non-adherence to medications is really killing us, literally killing us, and killing us financially. We've estimated that non-adherence is the costliest condition inflicting Americans today, about $317 billion nationwide, almost $20 billion there in Florida. It's a huge, huge problem. And the causes are, pretty interesting. It turns out that healthcare reform could really begin right at home in our medicine cabinets. It turns out that 2/3 of the problem of non-adherence, this tremendous problem facing the country, 2/3 of it is due simply to people forgetting to take their medications every day, to putting off getting a refill when it's time to do that, and being late to get a renewal when it's time to get a new prescription. Those three things are driving about 2/3 of that problem.
This non-adherence of patients taking a prescription drug comes with a huge financial price tag. Does the public realize how much waste in healthcare is a result of not taking prescribed medication?
Probably not. Most of that cost happens downstream as bad events happen for people who are not adherent to their therapy. I have to say that I think the bulk of this problem is really due to the human tendency to be inattentive, to focus their attention on things that are more pressing, either fun or things that are more pressing in terms of painful stuff that has to be taken care of. And for better or worse, taking your medications is really neither of those things most of the time.
Are certain people more likely to forget to take their meds?
That's the thing that every American could do for the country today, is just to take better care of themselves, including taking their medications every day as prescribed by their doctor. It's one of the most dangerous kinds of waste in healthcare. These medications work for the most part very, very well. They're very well tolerated by most patients. It's really quite remarkable if you think about it. You can take a pill every morning, and for some patients you can cut the risk of stroke by 2/3, and it doesn't really take much. It's actually easier than swallowing a piece of steak, and yet a large number of patients simply forget and fail to do it. So this is, I'd say job one when it comes to healthcare in the United States.
So how can non-adherent patients become more proactive and take their medication?
Yeah, well, we're all at risk for non-adherence at one time or another. We do find when we comb through our data persistent patterns that cause small increases in the chance that someone will be non-adherent. So, for example, if you're younger, you tend to be a little less adherent. If you have young children in the household, you tend to be a little less adherent. We can all, understand why that might be, especially on the weekend with soccer games and softball games, etc. There are three things I'd ask folks to think about doing. So if you take a medication every day as prescribed by your doctor, set up some sort of a reminder system. It could be an alarm on your cell phone. There are beepers that you can get for pill bottles or pill boxes to help you take your medication every day just as prescribed. If you're getting your medications every day, I'd urge you to think about getting them through home delivery. It helps tremendously in terms of minimizing the chance that you'll procrastinate on a refill. You only have to refill your medications 4 times a year, and many programs have auto refill, so you don't have to leave the home at all. The drugs just come right to your door. And then finally, and this one is one that we often forget, make sure that you've set up an appointment with your physician in advance of when you're going to need a new prescription, of when your refills run out. That delay creates an enormous gap in care for many, many patients, and that's one that we often forget to do.
Thanks, Dr. Nease, for joining us this morning and bringing awareness to our personal responsibilities to keep ourselves healthier to drive down the cost of our health care. Spring's a great time to enjoy your home. Maybe even add some curb appeal or spruce up your living space and add accessories to complement nature. Save money by practicing eco-friendly habits and use that money on your family vacation this summer. Caring for your health and taking your medications wisely may also help you get past the spring pollen in the air to enjoy your family in the comfort of your Florida home. Hope today's resources helped increase your quality of life. See more past episodes of The Rosalie Archer Show at rosaliearchershow.com. Thank you for joining us. See you next week. Will the solutions to this show's issues help you or a loved one? Find shows like this and others on our website at rosaliearchershow.com.